Sorry not sorry. Why I'm anti-Belly. In the summer I turned pretty. Everyone's either Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah right now, but honestly, I'm Team anti-Belly. In this article, I want to dive into why I don't buy into either ship, how Jeremiah's character got ruined after season 1, why Conrad isn't the golden boy people hype him up to be, and most importantly, why Belly's messy back and forth makes the whole love triangle unbearable. It's not a pick a team article, it's more like, here's why nobody really wins. Fun, opinionated, and definitely something Gen Z readers will argue about in the comments. Okay, let's be real, the summer I turned pretty has officially become a cultural reset for General Z. It's all over TikTok edits, Twitter threads, and Instagram memes, and if you haven't seen people fighting over whether they're Team Conrad or Team Jeremiah, then you're probably living under a rock. But here's where I'm different. I'm neither. I don't think Conrad is the dream guy, I don't think Jeremiah deserves a redemption arc, and honestly, I'm straight up Team anti-Belly. Because while it's fun to debate the brothers, Belly is the one who really makes this love triangle a big mess. Why I don't support Conrad. Conrad Fisher, the broody, mysterious, cold love interest, straight out of a Wattpad cliché. On paper, he's supposed to be the ultimate crush, the one who plays guitar on the beach at sunset, stares into the distance with those sad eyes, and has every girl thinking, I can fix him. But let's actually break this down. Conrad's whole personality is basically being emotionally unavailable. He pushes Belly away 1 second, then reels her back in the next. He doesn't communicate, he bottles up his feelings, and instead of being honest, he just sulks like it's a full-time job. I get that he's dealing with heavy stuff, especially with his family. That's valid, but trauma isn't an excuse to treat people like they're disposable. And what annoys me the most is how people romanticize this behavior like it's mysterious or protective. No, it's confusing, manipulative, and straight up unhealthy. Imagine dating someone who never actually tells you what they feel and expects you to just know. That's not dreamy, that's a situationship nightmare. And honestly, the worst part is how the fandom paints Conrad as the endgame, because he's the serious brother. Just because he broods in silence doesn't make him better. If anything, it makes him harder to deal with. Communication is the bare minimum, and if he can't even give Belly or anyone that, then why are we still pretending he's worth fighting over? Broody stares don't equal love, sorry not sorry. Why Jeremiah isn't it either? Now, on the flip side, you've got Jeremiah, the golden retriever energy, sunshine boy, the one who's always supposed to be fun and safe. In season 1, I'll admit, he wasn't the worst. He brought lightness, he balanced out Conrad's dark moods, and he actually seemed like someone who could be stable for Belly. But then season 2 came along, and wow. His character just tanked. First off, the cheating thing. How do you go from being the sweet, loyal best friend, to betraying someone like that? It was such a messy, out-of-character move that made him instantly unlikable. And then, adding in his constant insecurity and the way he lashes out, it's just not giving boyfriend material anymore. He's not even funny in the carefree way he used to be, now he just comes across as immature and desperate. Also, can we talk about how the internet has turned him into a meme? Every other TikTok edit I see has Jeremiah's shocked face, or the barely visible ring he gave to Belly, and honestly, people aren't wrong. He went from being the safe option, to being the one you'd actively warn your friend not to date. At least Conrad's issues are consistent, Jeremiah went from golden retriever to walking red flag in a single season. That's not growth, that's regression. Why Belly is the real problem? Now here's the twist. Neither brother is the real villain of this show. It's Belly. And before anyone jumps to defend her, let's actually look at her actions. Belly spends most of the story bouncing between Conrad and Jeremiah, keeping both of them hooked, and then acting surprised when everything blows up. She'll complain that Conrad isn't open with her and then runs to Jeremiah. Then she'll call out Jeremiah's flaws, and suddenly Conrad is her comfort again. It's a cycle, and she's the one fueling it. And let's be real, the way she plays victim is exhausting. She constantly frames herself as the one being wronged. Conrad doesn't love me enough, or, Jeremiah betrayed me, blah blah blah. But at the same time, she's not acknowledging how her own choices create half these problems. Like, girl, you can't have it both ways. You can't date both brothers, stir the pot, and then act shocked when everything goes downhill. That's not romantic, that's selfish. The worst part, Belly doesn't seem to realize how toxic she's being. She frames it like it's just her, figuring out who she loves, but in reality, she's dragging two brothers into a never-ending cycle of drama. It's not just bad for them, it's bad for her too. Instead of growing as a character, she just keeps repeating the same mistakes. And honestly, I can't root for someone who refuses to take accountability. At the end of the day, I don't think this show should even be about picking teams. Both brothers are flawed, sure, but Belly is the common denominator in all the chaos. Maybe instead of asking who she should end up with, we should be asking why either of them is still chasing her in the first place. And also, she isn't the whole problem. Those both brothers weren't kids either, and they should be sensible enough to understand the situation and act accordingly.